Hey, this is Tracy with Color Me This. We're on episode 119. This is the weekly color review, a review of the 4 daily color sessions that I had this week. I am stopping early because of a commitment I have with my husband. We completed these 2 pages using the upper left Color 180 Black Barrel, lower left Pablo, Caran d'Ache Pablos that is. From the spine on the right side, we have Prang, Marie's, and then another set of Pablos. I am working on the Pablos detailed walkthrough, so that is why I did 2 different projects, and we'll probably slip in a third one. So let's talk about each of the sets. So the Color 180s, I thought they did a very nice job. They are creamier feeling than the Pablos. The Pablos are a much drier pencil. And the background that I did this little section up above here. This is the darkest navy that the Color 180 Black Barrels have, and I don't feel that's anywhere near dark enough. So it's kind of funny that, funny not in a good way, that a 180 set does not have a dark enough dark. There are other colors that are dark enough, but in the blues, they do lack a true like midnight navy blue. And you can see that the Pablo's very dark midnight blue is to die for. Absolutely spectacular. So the Pablo's, they have somewhat of a smooshability. They actually really do blend together. If you put one color over another color, you can continue to go in small circles and they will blend together even if it's a little bit of work. And both sets of pencils are great, and I loved the color palette that I chose. The interesting embellishing that I did is on the top 2. You can see if I go out at an angle that I used silver. I used a Signo silver, which is floating around here somewhere. The Uniball silver Signo. This is like, I don't know, 6 years old, and it still works like a champ. So on the one on the right, it had some necklace type, beads and things looped. The only thing I see now that I didn't finish was the center of these little daisy-like flowers needs something, and so does that. No, that's silver. So the middle there is silver, and I will probably put purple. I'll pull out the violet in the big flower and finish that off. I just now noticed that. Love the hanging drop flowers and the purple to blue transitions. This particular one on the bottom, getting down to the Pablos, did not have any obvious items to embellish. The only thing I could have perhaps done was the white, and I am not having good luck right now with my white dotting. The only thing that seems to work these days are my Artistros, and they're just too large of a dot. So I might have to go shopping for something. And I do have, so we'll talk about this one, and then I want to share something that I noticed. So on the one on the right, it is even simpler than the one on the left, and it does have this one element that I made silver, and that was it. So these were a dream to do. They happened pretty quickly. I did have this one left over by itself to finish up. And then how I did all of the bugs is I started on the right side and did the Pablos first. I seemed to be able to manage 4 bugs a day. And then at the very end with the prangs, I kind of rushed the whole, I had this one left over and then all 4 of these. But the prangs, they're very simple pencils. There's not a lot of time you need to spend on them because they go down pretty simple. They blend together almost instantly, and they don't have a very pigmented color palette. So what you see is what you get here. And I still think when all is said and done, and when you spend a little more time filling in, I go pretty quick, and then I behind the scenes spend the time to really make things look nice, and I add shadows. You'll notice that all 3 rows of bugs I added shadow lines, and the shadows were done with the black for each of the 3 different sets. Hey, future Tracy here. I forgot to talk about the Maries. Somehow I went from the Pablos over to the Prangs because I talked about how the rate of coloring time and how simple the Prangs were. So let's go back to the Maries. So the Maries is a 168 set. They are a Chinese company. They do not sell in the US market. I bought them on Temu, but you can get them on AliExpress as well. They have a really interesting storage case that I am using for storage of them. And they are a very nice pencil. And they, when you just touch them to the paper, and they blend together really well. The Pablos, I think, if I had to pick of the 4 sets, which blend together the easiest, I would say it's the Maries. And the Pablo's second best, Color third, and you know, the Prangs are what the Prangs are. They actually are not bad at blending, they just don't have a lot of oomph. And all 3 of these other pencils are just color powerhouses. They are all very vibrant, and so for me, the satisfaction is in the vibrancy and the quietness. The Maries is the quietest, Color is second quietest, and then the Pablos are kind of not chalky, but they are definitely a dry pencil, so you get a sound with them even on this very smooth paper. Maries are silent, and they just are really a dream to use, and you can get, you know, tonal values, like I'm looking at this peach one, really easy, and then you add the black just covers over and darkens your shadow lines very, very nicely. So love the Maries. They are great. You know, they are probably not light fast, but neither are the Colors. They have a little more pigment, I think, than the Colors, and they also have better darks. That seems, my biggest thing is having dark darks and light lights, and the Maries has a very good color range through the 168 pencils, and they have great skin tones, which in this example of using them, the skin tones aren't very apparent, but you can see the peachy tones, and then up here we have very light yellow and a very soft flesh color here on the lower wings that I used. So I wanted to pop in and make sure that I gave Maries some time because they are a very lovely pencil, and they are around $58 regular. Not regular, but the normal price, which everything on Temu, they show you as a huge discount. So $58, and then I think I got them for $48 around some holiday, so there was a sale, and I thought it was a pretty decent deal. So now I'm going to go back to the regular programming, and we'll talk about the embellishing that I did on the bugs. I did do the iridescent wings every place that I had talked about doing wings. Let's see if I can get... oh, you know what I'll do? I'll turn on my light. That is how we can show you. So pardon the brightness, but by adding the bright, now you can see these first 2, I added the iridescent. This top dragonfly, I added a glaze to the body. It was clear glaze. I added clear glaze to this beetle, but not the center. I find that the glaze is not quite as good as like a glossy accents. When it dries, it is not truly shiny. It's only like half shiny. I added clear glaze to these dots and then added some delicate white dots. I was able to manage the little delicate dots in a couple of places using the other Uniball Signo, my white one. And then the only other interesting thing is these eyes. I went ahead and put the Stardust Jelly Roll Clear Shimmer. Starting at the top, I did nothing exciting to this guy. This one has a couple of glazed dots, and that is it. And then this one I did not color in with you guys. I just used the black very softly, and then I went over with white to blend it out. I did some Stardust on the peach butterfly that I thought came out very sweet. The ladybug has clear glaze legs, clear glaze head, and iridescent eyes. This is the purple that I told you I was going to do the iridescent because I was going to assume that this upside down heart shape layer of wing was over the top of everything, and they're like a gossamer wing. So that is why that's all glowy. And then I did yellow glaze. This top one has yellow glaze. This beetle I did with sepia, and I used glaze all around the legs and around the edges. I then took a pinkish, it's like a lavender actually, even though it comes out hot pink, it really was not hot pink. And I already had this color tone, which is the plum, berry red, and the violet, I think. Can't remember the third color. And so that was the same thing in these triangles that are sort of eyes, but not really. I'm not sure what body part they are supposed to be. I did nothing for the very nice kind of the 60s sunshine color palette. I love this little heart. I did use redwood was the color that I used up on that. This is what I'm calling my watermelon butterfly. And I did use sepia for the body. I have not added any accents of any variety or any embellishing. I was thinking of doing white dots, but I was having difficulty getting my white dots over here on this side. So I even had white dots on this, and I had to rub them off. They were just not looking, they're so delicate. So I figured I better leave the watermelon butterfly alone. And then the bottom, which is actually a moth, I also did iridescent wings section in the middle here. So that is it. Both pages done. I have completed, I believe, 20 pages now. This book is 82 pages. So I'm just going to keep pressing on now that I've gone through. As soon as I finish the second round going alphabetically through my budget pencils, I will rethink a fun strategy of how I will choose my pencil sets going forward. And I have a couple of new pencil sets that I have not used yet, and I will work on getting those integrated. I think that's it. So let me know your thoughts and leave your comments. How else would you have liked to see these blinged out? I am curious to know. So do all of the YouTube things, like, share, comment, and consider subscribing. And I am going to be off air for 3 days, back on Monday with the daily color, and I have 1 or 2 small videos that I might sneak in the downtime of our gameplay, and I might get those posted. So we'll see you Monday.